Hello and welcome to another video. In this video I will explain you how to make a shining scale effect. So this will be the third sacrifice for Sacritober for the prompt water, and I just took the first Google image for a mackerel and I traced the silhouette of the fish, and then I slapped on the texture. And yeah, and now I guess this is the most easiest thing you can 3D model in Blender in a PS1 style: insects and fish, because everything that's flat should be pretty easy to transfer into a low poly model. Yeah, so let's dive into it. I have here the fish with the texture and the default setup for the default principle BDSF. With the default settings, the only thing I did was I plugged in the alpha channel and changed the blend mode into alpha clip shadow mode. So let's change into the shading tab. And I changed the color of in the world properties to this blue to get this water-like feel. And yeah, and so that's my basic setup. Also I changed this here to closest. And as you can see, I have here two light sources, and they reflect the surface of the fish, but it doesn't look very scale-like. So maybe you are a scaly, which is a furry but without the fur, with scales, so dragon and fish and shit. So maybe you will need this kind of technique to get a reflective scale effect. So, and let's attack that. We need a Voronoi texture, yeah. And now we need a mix RGB, and we need a color ramp to define what gets reflected and how. And we defined the colors of this holo effect, so color ramp, to further define our color choice. And a normal map, Shift A, normal map. Okay, now we plug everything into each other. Let's start with the Voronoi texture. Color into the second color, color into the function of the color map, color into color, normal into normal. Now we already got a different kind of reflection, but it still doesn't look like a scale effect. So let's change some stuff around. We need here mix. The mix RGB needs to be changed into an overlay. And here the scale, I think it's easier to see if I disconnect the base color of the texture. So let's scale it up. Let's go with, already got a very scale-like, water-like feel to it. I think I would stick with that. This is good enough. And the strength, go with a half. Yeah. So, and now we can actually attack the color ramp and the range of colors which get reflected in the scales. So here, let's select the first one, the black. Oh, we should change it. The lightest color is up front and the darkest color is at last. So select the first one, click on it, and plus, and plus. Now spread it out. And now we defined basically the colors of our holo reflectiveness scale reflection. I don't know. So I start with the darkest color, in my case is a blue, so a dark blue. And the next one or a slightly lighter blue. You can work here with the color. It's not a wheel, it's a circle, color circle. For this here we can attack green. And here let's throw in an orange. Why not? Doesn't matter right now. This is something you have to play around with. So as you can see here with this cut, the reflections are very harsh, the transition between one phase to another. This is the case only for low poly. If you're working with a more high poly model with more rounded edges, this will fade way more into each other. But yeah, so we want reflectness. So we have to decrease the roughness, and let's go down to 0.05. A bit of roughness is necessary. The specular, crank it all the way up, and the metallic also. As you can see, we can already see the result of the reflectiveness. And yeah, and basically now we can use our texture to define the parts which should be ignored. Okay, so take the color of the texture, plug it in the first color. Now we end up with something like this, and also color into the base color. And as you can see, this looks pretty awesome. Nice. Really hope you got something out of this video as always. If you like this video, consider subscribing. If you have questions, let me know in the comments below. And subscribe if you haven't. And if you want to help the channel big time, consider becoming a Patreon. And yeah, and also here is a very, very interesting video. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out.